Hey everybody, John C.
Denise Richards and the lovely Lulu.
Welcome back to another All Things Home. We're so glad you guys are here with us today. Thanks for watching these videos and being a part of our lives every Thursday morning if you watch it then. If you watch it Thursday night, that's fine too. We are recording today for our episode on July 20th. We are in the dog days of summer.
We are in the dog hot days of summer.
Where does that come from, dog days? I don't know.
I feel like I'm just like outside sweating like a dog. Anyway, what is it today?
July 20th, great day. It's kind of like a space day because so many of our things revolve around things in space.
Yeah, well, we're all kind of in space.
We actually are in space. That's funny you say that. We actually are. Today is National Moon Day, from what I've heard.
Meaning the celestial being orb around the Earth, not the other moon day.
Not something you did as a high school or college student.
And it's National Space Exploration Day.
Love it.
So those go together.
Hand in hand. Perfect. And then the last one is World Jump Day. Don't know how that...
It does, because it's if you're going in space and then you land on the moon, you're going to jump.
Because that's what he did. That's what Neil did.
That's right.
Neil jumped on the moon. Thanks for being with us today. Happy National Space Day, Moon Day, Jump Day, all that fun stuff. We're so glad you guys are here today. If you missed last week's video, it was really good. We talked about summer holiday safety tips. People need to be safe.
Yeah, they've got to realize what's happening in their home when they're not there.
And around their home when they're not there.
And when they are there.
When they are there. So you need to be aware of those things. If you want to know how to keep your home and area safe, watch the last video. It was really good. I think we gave quite a few awesome tips on how to keep your home safe.
I know we did, yeah.
Especially when you're traveling in the summer.
Yeah.
If you're going on vacation or something like that. Vacation. Hey, listen, top 10 cities where rates are falling, rental rates are falling. I saw this article the other day. I want to cover that today. Can we cover that a little bit?
I think that's some pretty darn good news to hear that rent is going down.
Rent's coming down a little bit in some areas.
Okay, all right.
Some areas. Now, I haven't seen rental rates drop too much here in Southwest Florida. We did not land in the top 10 for U.S. cities where rental prices are dropping. Now, this is metro areas. So basically, what does that mean? Well, larger towns. This doesn't mean, Topeka, Kansas. Although Topeka may be big. I don't know. I just think Kansas and I think small.
Seems small, right.
Hopefully you know what I'm going at there. But the housing market is with the rental side. By the way, rental median home price for rates are $1,739 a month. I thought that was interesting. For these 50 largest metropolitan areas, $1,700 a month is what you'd pay to rent something.
Lower than it was, that's for sure.
And good luck finding something here in Southwest Florida for under $1,700 a month on rentals. Rentals around here seem to start with a 2.
Right, yeah. And if you're lucky to find something $1,800,
you guys got any? You're just lucky. You got any guesses before we go over the top 10? You have any guesses for the lowest or the highest rental drop in rental rates over the last year? Does anybody have any guesses? Post those in the comments below. I'm going to go over them with you real quick. Which, by the way, this article also says that overall in the U.S., rental rates from 2022 to 2023, the last 12 months, they've only dropped 0.6%. Not too much. A little bit, but not too much. So if you had a rental that you had on the market for $2,000 a month, 1% would be around $20, I think, if my math is right. I don't know if I'm doing that right.
That 0.6% also takes into account all of it that it went up over those last 12 months. So that's actually a pretty darn good number. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute.
We're going to talk about more about that in a minute. So on the list, top 10, we'll just go to the top 10. For Virginia Beach, Virginia, they dropped in rental rates 1.6% over the last 12 months. Seattle, Washington was there recently, 1.8%. Denver, Colorado, 3%. Atlanta, Georgia, I like to call it Hotlanta. They dropped 3% as well, 3.1%. Charlotte, North Carolina, 3.5%. Tampa, the closest to us and the only one in Florida that pops up on the top 10 in the state of Florida, their rental rates dropped 4% over the last 12 months. Austin, Texas, I've heard a lot about Austin recently, even with their home prices dropping quite a bit, and they are down 5.6%. That's a big change. Phoenix, Arizona, 5.7%, Riverside, California, 5.9%, and then topping off this chart of 50 metropolitan rental areas is Las Vegas, Nevada.
You know what
they dropped 6%.
Those all have in common seems to be the places where they got the biggest jump in rent.
Huge jump up.
The big whoosh on the chart.
Big hockey stick on uptick over the last, instead of the steady. And it's interesting because when you look through this list, there's not much in the Midwest.
No.
I mean, there's actually none of these. I mean, Denver, I don't know if you could say that. Midwest, probably not. But there's not really anything on this list in the Midwest area. I don't know if you consider Texas Midwest. That's probably south. But
every state is a coastal state. Except for Phoenix.
Yeah, except for Phoenix. Las Vegas, close, but, you got the right idea on the exterior. So it's interesting on these cities. How's rental rates been in your neck of the woods? Our rent here has stayed pretty steady over the last 12 months. Our rents climbed quite a bit over the last probably 5 to 6 years, and it was a nice steady climb.
It was a very steady climb up until recently, so it was very extreme.
Yeah, so we have some extreme things here. 6% a pretty big chunk for rental rates dropping in these areas like Las Vegas. So how's the rental market in your area? Also, I want to remind everybody, when you talk real estate related things, rental, sales, anything like that, it's very local, and I like to say hyper local, because you may have a community that the rates are still climbing. You may have something across the street where people just can't even get a home rented. So it's very hyper-local on sales and rentals. Enough about rentals. Let's talk about the market update real quick. What do we got going on in the market? What do you want to talk to?
We have such exciting news. I promised you guys that on July 12th, we were going to get the new CPI numbers that were going to tell us what our inflation rate was for June of 2023.
Did we get those?
We did.
Nice.
And guess what? It came down another full percentage point.
Well, that's good.
The bond market is cooperating. Things are looking really good. Things are looking on the upside of things. It's going to take some time for us to see those mortgage rates come down, but they are a-coming.
Good.
We got to remember the height of inflation was over 9%. And now we're at 3%.
Come on, Joe, get that back.
Government wants us at 2%. So we'll see. We'll see.
Joe and Bernie. So again, CPI, Consumer Price Index. Is that kind of what we're looking at here? That's what came out on the 12th, Consumer Price Index, and that does what? That shows how much people are spending. Remind people what that is.
Yeah, the cost of everything overall, and there's I think 4 or 5 different categories. One of them being the shelter cost, talking about the cost of rent, right? It finally came down. This is the first CPI number that we're seeing that number come down, and the shelter costs is 43% of that CPI number of your consumer price index.
Okay.
So it's huge. And these numbers are finally what we've been waiting for. This is what we were hoping to see back in May, but we didn't. It's happening, John. I really, truly see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train.
I feel like you predicted some of this.
Well, with a little help from my friends.
Good. You got good friends. Hey, if you need help finding a rental or putting a rental on the market, we want to connect you today with me. And here's what, I don't really handle rentals, but I have an office here of 160, I think we have 168 agents now here at the Keller Williams office here in Southwest Florida, one of our offices. And we have a few agents here that's all they do. They work rentals. So if you have a rental that you need help putting on the market, getting a tenant, or you personally are looking for a seasonal or an annual rental, short term, whatever you need, call, text, or email me. I'll get you connected with those people. How's that for local connections?
I like that. That's a good. He's pretty good.
It's probably my favorite local connection
so far.
Highlight person we've highlighted so far. Anyways, so glad you guys watched this video. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you haven't yet, what do they need to do?
Like and subscribe, please.
Knock that out. There's a button at the bottom. Won't cost you a penny. Go ahead and like and subscribe to our videos. We greatly appreciate it. Until next week, have an awesome week.
Over and out.